Welcome to the 13th election in American history. It occurred in 1836 from November 3rd up to December 7th, and a lot had happened in just a short 4 years. Starting with the Nullification Crisis, a major event, which began with the Ordinance of Nullification, in which South Carolina declared the federal tariffs as unconstitutional. And on December 10th, 1832, Jackson made his nullification proclamation. Jackson saw this as a major threat to the Union and said this famous quote about Calhoun, the kingmaker in South Carolina. During this crisis, Jackson signed the Force Bill. It authorized the use of federal forces, if required, to subdue South Carolina no matter the cost. Thankfully, the compromise tariff of 1833 was made. It promised the gradual reduction of the tariff over a decade's time, making the South happy, but only ended the crises for now. Meanwhile, the Trail of Tears was still occurring because of Andrew Jackson. Many Native Americans were forced to walk thousands of miles, and many would die. Jackson saw his re-election win as a mandate to destroy the Second National Bank in his war against them. He was successful when he removed the bank's federal funding and gave it to state banks. Jackson was so adamant that when the Secretary of Treasury refused to pull out the bank's funding, he fired him and replaced him with Roger B. Taney. And when Chief Justice John Marshall passed away in 1835, Taney was nominated by Jackson and became the new Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Fun fact, in early 1835, Jackson paid off the national debt and is the only president to achieve this. Soon after, the first assassination attempt against a president in U.S. history occurred after Jackson walked out of the Capitol, perpetrated by Richard Lawrence, who was unemployed and mentally unstable. But thankfully for Jackson, both guns misfired due to the humid weather of that day. After Jackson realized what was happening, he beat him up with his cane until others intervened. In the end, he was found not guilty due to insanity, but this left Jackson paranoid. Jackson even thought at first that Calhoun sent him to assassinate him. Meanwhile, something big was occurring near the frontier in the southwest, which began when Santa Anna, the dictator of Mexico, centralized all power to himself, and the Texas Revolution soon followed in 1835 by American settlers. The revolution won in the Battle of San Jacinto, a decisive Texan victory, in which Mexican leader Santa Anna was captured and surrendered. Shortly after, the Texan Republic was founded by war hero Sam Houston, and Andrew Jackson would recognize their independence. For the election, Democrats nominated Martin Van Buren for president. There were two nominees for vice president: Richard Johnson, representative from Kentucky, and finally, William Rives, a staunch Southerner and senator from Virginia. Some, especially Southerners, hated the idea of Johnson becoming vice president due to his marriage to a former slave. In the end, Democrats nominated Martin Van Buren and Richard Johnson as his running mate. Also, there was a new party in this election, the Whig Party, formed by Henry Clay and Daniel Webster. They were almost all of Jackson's political enemies combined into one sole party in order to try to stop Jacksonian democracy, having appeal with entrepreneurs, professionals, Protestants, and the urban middle class. In the end, the Whigs nominated too many people as a new strategy. The first nominee was William Henry Harrison, hero of the War of 1812 and former Ohio senator; Hugh L. White, senator from Tennessee; Daniel Webster, senator from Massachusetts; Willie Mangum, senator from North Carolina. While for the vice president nominees, it was Francis Granger, representative from New York; finally, John Tyler, senator from Virginia. The Whigs did this tactic to try to lock the Electoral College, and the winner was Van Buren won, becoming the 8th president in American history. Van Buren won with 170 electoral votes, and all the Whig candidates lost. William Henry Harrison got 73 electoral votes in the Midwest. Hugh White got 26 electoral votes. In the South, Webster got 14 electoral votes from Massachusetts. Finally, Mangum got 11 electoral votes from South Carolina. But the 12th Amendment kicked in since all 23 Virginia electors became faithless against Van Buren's vice presidential pick, Johnson. In the end, Richard Johnson became the 9th vice president after the Senate voted for him. This was the only election where our party tried this tactic and showed how popular Democrats still were. Michigan awkwardly voted in this election, but only became a state in 1837. In the Senate, the Democrats regained the majority, winning 31 out of 51 seats, with 27 required for a majority. For the House, the Democrats narrowly expanded their power, winning 139 seats, 17 over the threshold. New Speaker Polk became the 13th Speaker of the House after Jackson endorsed him and called in political favors. Van Buren took his oath of office on Saturday, March 4, 1837, at the East Portico of the Capitol. Jackson and Jacksonian democracy had won yet again, and thus the 13th election in American history came to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video.